Today we'll be reviewing the 10th generation of HPE's Proliant DL380. The new 2U 2-socket server features Intel's scalable family of processors, delivering significant increases in performance over the previous generation Intel Xeon E5 and E7 V4 processors. New additions include an update to ILO for greatly enhanced security and a new generation of storage controllers to take advantage of the supercharged speed of processing and throughput. The new platform delivers more storage, memory, and a multitude of other options to support diverse workloads. Highly adaptable and scalable, the Gen10 DL380 is ideal for data centers, cloud, extreme virtual machine and container deployments, big data, and a host of other applications. Let's start with the system board. The DL380 Gen10 features a new chipset from Intel, the C621, which supports Intel's new scalable family of processors with 4 tiers of performance. In a nutshell, the processor families are bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. The scalable family features a larger CPU requiring a larger socket, a new chipset, support for new NVMe storage, optionally integrated fabric, more cores, more memory channels, and new security features. The scalable family is an improvement over the previous generation E5 and E7 V4 processors in just about every aspect. Processors deliver an impressive 27% increase in core count and a 71% gain in performance, depending on your choice of processor. Bronze processors are used for both single and dual socket applications, while the platinum processors are targeted at 8-socket platforms, but can also be used for 2 and 4-socket platforms. The Gen10 DL380 will support the whole family of scalable processors with 4 to 28 cores. Although I should mention the Gold series actually has 2 variants, the 6100 and 5100 series, which are distinguished by the number of UltraPath interconnect links between the sockets. QuickPath Interconnect, or QPI, was the standard for inter-socket communications, but with the increased throughput and greater memory capacity supported on the scalable family, QPI has now been replaced by the Intel UltraPath Interconnect, or Intel UPI. In comparison, QPI operates at speeds of up to 9.6 gigatransfers per second, while UPI operates at speeds of 10.4 gigatransfers per second. The Gold 5100 series is a lower-cost version with 2 UPI links, while the Gold 6100 series CPUs offer 3 UPI links. This particular chassis is pre-configured at the factory and supports up to 8 large form-factor hard drives, a single scalable silver CPU with 4 cores, a single dual-rank 16GB memory module, a single 500-watt PSU, and a P408i 2GB HD controller. This chassis will also support an optional optical drive carrier in the upper right front of the chassis. There are a bunch of chassis configurations, including an 8 LFF drive chassis with universal media bay, which is what we have here today, a 12 large form-factor hard drive chassis that supports an additional 4 large form-factor drives using an optional mid-plane drive cage, or 3 large form-factor rear-mounted drives, or 2 by 2.5-inch rear-mounted drives. There's also a 24-bay SFF drive chassis that can support an optional rear-mounted drive cage with 6 SFF drives, an 8-bay small form-factor drive chassis with a universal media bay that can also support 2 optional front-mounted SFF or 2 non-volatile NVMe drives, and a 20-bay small form-factor NVMe drive chassis with a partial population of box 1 on the front of the system. If you're familiar with the previous generation DL380, then you can see there are significantly more storage options. The system also supports tiered storage, running both SSDs for super fast access and HDDs for high-capacity storage. For maximum storage, the 12-bay LFF chassis with 4 additional LFF drives supported in the mid-plane drive carrier offers a massive 190 terabytes of storage. SAS, SATA, and NVMe drives are supported. All drives are hot swappable, but the NVMe drives, which use a PCIe bus, cannot be removed until signal traffic flow is complete. In other words, wait for the LED on the drive carrier to stop blinking before you remove the drive to prevent data loss. And yes, there are specific smart carriers depending on what type of storage device is installed in your system. There's also an optional smart carrier that supports 2 6 gigabit per second SATA micro form factor drives. UFF drives enable administrators to install twice as many drives in the same carrier, increasing reliability and application availability. Oh, and let's not forget the M.2 storage stick that can be installed on the primary expansion card riser and the integrated micro SD card slot behind the power supply. Administrators can also install an optional dual SD card module that can be configured for mirror mode to support a fail-safe hypervisor. Moving onward, the P408i storage controller offers 2 GB flash-backed write cache and supports both RAID and host bus adapter operations simultaneously. It supports 8 internal SAS lanes to connect either SAS or SATA drives and comes with built-in encryption capabilities and a smart storage battery located just behind the HD backplane. It supports SAS at up to 12 gigabits per second or SATA at 6 gigabits per second. The controller sits in a dedicated storage slot, preserving your PCIe expansion slots for other uses. Several other newly developed Gen10 storage controllers are supported and are designed to increase performance and data availability by up to 65% while using 45% less power. In a single processor configuration, the system comes with 4 fans. With a 2-processor configuration running standard workloads, it comes with 6 fans. With a fully loaded chassis including the 24-bay SFF and 12-bay LFF chassis with optional storage, 6 high-performance fans are required. This system came with a single 16GB dual-rank registered memory module that is capable of speeds of up to 2666 megatransfers per second, depending on your choice of processor and memory configuration. With a current scalable Silver CPU installed, memory speed is limited to 2400 megatransfers per second. To increase speed of processing, each processor supports 6 memory channels and 2 memory modules per channel for a total of 12 memory modules per socket and 24 DIMM slots total in a 2-processor configuration. All pre-configured DL380 Gen10 models can be upgraded to support up to 3 terabytes of memory using 128 gigabyte LR DIMM modules in all 24 slots. Registered, load-reduced, non-volatile memory modules are supported on the system but cannot be mixed. Using persistent memory, the system can support over a terabyte of memory for some truly phenomenal performance with in-memory applications and analytic workloads. NVMe DIMMs require an HPE Smart Storage battery for backup power supply in the event of a power failure. There are a maximum of 8 PCIe 3.0 expansion slots possible, depending on the number and type of riser and the number of processors installed. But keep in mind, the optional drive cages will claim some of those expansion slots if additional storage is required. A primary riser that ships standard supports expansion slots 1 through 3 plus an M.2 storage stick. A secondary riser supports expansion slots 4 through 6, and a tertiary riser can support 2 additional expansion slots. The second and tertiary risers require a second processor. If you opt for dual processors on the 24-bay 2.5-inch drive chassis and install all 3 rear-mounted 2.5-inch drive cages, you'll be limited to only 2 expansion slots. With our pre-configured chassis, the system will support 3 PCIe slots total, 1x16 slot and 2x8 slots, both full height. Of course, even if you do take up most of those expansion slots with additional storage, the system will still support massive I/O with an embedded 4x1 gigabit Ethernet network adapter and an optional flexible LOM that can support 4 ports and 10 gigabits per second each. Of course, you can also install additional I/O by using the remaining expansion slots. Flexibility is the name of the game with the DL380 Gen10, and for graphics applications and high-performance computing, the DL380 Gen10 has expanded support for GPUs. The system will support up to 5 single-wide or 3 double-wide GPUs for graphics applications or enhanced computation. Administrators have a choice of options to power the system with the right size PSU for specific configurations and workloads. Choices include a 500-watt, 800-watt, and 1600-watt flex slot power supplies that share a common electrical and physical design across the Gen10 performance server line. Security and management of the system have also been enhanced, starting with a striking new design for the front bezel, which can be locked, and the typical intrusion sensors. However, the real improvement is the integrated lights-out management module. ILO 5.0 offers improvements at the firmware level, and a new custom HPE silicone chip provides what HPE calls the silicone root of trust. The module has an immutable fingerprint in the silicone paired with new ILO firmware. Without getting into too much detail, the new and improved ILO 5.0 is designed to resist firmware attacks and prevent servers from running compromised firmware code. The server will not even boot up unless the firmware matches the fingerprint. If you're interested in learning more about ILO 5, we placed a few links in the description below. Other software offerings like intelligent system tuning help modify the scalable processor's frequency and cores for optimal performance, whatever your workload. The new Gen 10 systems are designed with an eye towards what HPE calls a composable infrastructure, basically the ability to combine standard compute storage and networking in unique configurations to meet specific workload needs. When your workload changes, the system can be recomposed at the physical level to accommodate the new workload, on demand, as things change throughout the day. The DL380 is the world's best-selling server, and the new Proliant DL380 Gen10 definitely takes this platform to another level. Highly scalable, flexible, and reliable, with enhanced security features, a composable infrastructure, and more efficient power supplies, all contribute to supporting workloads in any industry.